Hi, it's lovely to meet you today.
Oh, hi, how are you?
Going good, thank you. I only saw a few minutes of the film, and from what I saw, I cannot wait to see the rest of it. So, from what I saw, congratulations so far.
Thank you.
So, this is not your first time in the Marvel sandpit. WandaVision was a pretty cinematic TV show, but what was it like jumping from that into such an immersive, immense kind of cinematic world as Fantastic Four?
Well, in some ways they're very similar. With Wanda, we built a very specific reality, a series of sitcom, decade by decade, that Wanda had created as a place to deal with her grief at the loss of Vision. It was about studying sitcoms and being as authentic as possible to that. And in this, we were building our own 60s universe, a retro future Earth in a different universe. But it relied on the same process of being incredibly authentic, looking at 60s photography and architecture and movies, and looking at retrofuturism, and looking at what they were imagining the world was going to look like in the future and trying to bring that to life in the most authentic way possible. I wanted people to feel like this was a New York that was familiar to them, because one of the things I love about New York City is that it's built by layer of history, and then but you see the newness rising out of the old, and that's very much what we tried to do, to have these sort of the shoots of Reed Richards' new technology growing out of a familiar New York.
I mean, there's so many thousands, millions of Marvel fans, including myself. But what I loved is that the clip that we saw that has the newsreel footage that gives us an introduction to who the Fantastic Four are, how they came to be. And I just think it's such a clever way to bring new people on board, to have this kind of explainer, but within it. How important is it for you to bring new people to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Oh, it's incredibly important, and I think it's really one of the best things about this movie. I'm a huge Marvel fan. I grew up reading these comics. I love them, but I want, everyone out there in the world to come and join this storytelling, because these are great characters in a great world. And the best thing about this is you don't need to know anything about the Marvel Universe. I think a lot of people feel like, oh, I don't know all the intricacies and who each Avenger is and all that. You don't need to know any of that for this. They are the only superheroes in this world. It's just them. No interconnection, no Easter eggs. Eventually, they'll meet up with other Marvel heroes. So they've been announced to be in Avengers Doomsday, and that's coming up. But for this movie, they're it. They exist in their own little pocket of the Marvel Universe, and everyone is welcome.
Obviously you can't give, and I don't expect secrets or inside information on how that kind of connection is going to happen. But how aware do you have to be when you're plotting this story that it has to fit into a wider universe? Like, how complicated is that kind of plotting process?
It's very, very simple, because, I'm just focused on this movie and this story. I'm building this world, introducing these wonderful, amazing characters who've been around for 60 plus years. And that's enough. That's a wonderful challenge unto itself. Where it goes from here, that's, part of the next chapter of storytelling. The Russo brothers and, for Kevin Feige and everyone else to Marvel to kind of decide where these characters go. Well, I think of Marvel as a baton race, really, and you get handed that baton, it's yours, it's in your hand, you run as fast and hard as you can, and when it's time to pass that baton, you're done. And so we made this, and we'll see what happens next.
I'd love to know, as somebody who is an actor and a director, does that give you a different perspective when it comes to directing actors? Does it make you more collaborative, or does it kind of make you kind of stronger will to say, no, Pedro Pascal, you're not doing that. You're doing it this way. Like, how does that perspective shift?
Well, yes, I was an actor for a very long time, not one anymore, and never as good an actor as these guys. I'm in awe of what they can do. They wonderful actors are they're magical. And so I try to create as collaborative and warm an environment as possible. I think everybody loves to be in a place where they feel free to try things. You want to try things. You never know what's going to work, especially when you're establishing a new world, new characters, new family. You want to have room to play. Acting is like being a kid in a sandbox, right? It's what we did when we were young, and now we get to do it, as adults for a job, for a living. It's crazy that people let us do this. But when you're a kid and you're playing in the sandbox, you're always just in your world, in your life of the imagination. You feel free to do that. And in improv comedy, they have the rule of yes and, right? You never say no. That kills an improv skit right away. And that's true of acting too. You want to build things together, find, oh, that works great. Let's build on that. That works great. Let's build on that. And that's how I try to approach everything I do.
I cannot wait to see the whole thing. Very excited. It's been lovely to talk to you today.
Well, pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Have a good one.